Hey tribe, how you doing? If this is your first time to Inspirational Nourishment, welcome. I am Chevy, and on this page we are all about motivation and inspiration and elevation. Obviously you're here because something about the title caught your attention. So we're not going to belabor it. Let's jump right into it. Today we're going to talk about why often we know people, or maybe it's even ourselves, that have the habit of chasing relationships. So often we chase relationships for a variety of reasons. Oftentimes it's to fill a void. This void can be anything from not knowing how to be on your own, fear of being alone, basing our happiness on it being providing on someone else outside of ourselves. And that's just to name a few. Another common scenario is when one relationship ends, we immediately get with someone else. Some of you may be familiar with the saying, to get over someone, you get under someone else. And we often know it may distract us for the moment, it may give us what we need in the moment, but inevitably, we have to get back to the core issues. Now, I'm not saying fear of being alone or a relationship ending or looking for happiness outside of ourselves are the only scenarios. I'm just providing a few. I don't want to make this video too long, but also those are some of the common ones. So often, the issues are not so much chasing relationships. Those are some of the behaviors we take, but usually it's some other stuff going on. We're just handling it by way of chasing relationships, but it's some internal stuff that we need to deal with. Why are we chasing the relationship? Why do we think being in a relationship is going to be the remedy, right? So if you look at it from the perspective of why, now you see it's not just about chasing a relationship. Chasing a relationship is the behavior, but it's not the beginning of it. That's not what the main issue is. Often the issues that cause people to chase relationships sometimes is that there's brokenness there. Whether that brokenness is from childhood, whether that brokenness has been in our adult relationships, or it could be a combination of both, and it can be some other factors. Sometimes we reach a certain age and we feel we should be married, whether that's based off of what family is saying, society is saying, or whatever expectations, for whatever reason, we may have put on ourselves. Sometimes we have abandonment issues. We fear, we're intimidated at the aspect or the prospect of being alone. So instead of finding out what the reason is, we find ways not to be alone, right? Having time alone is essential. It's essential. You learn to love and enjoy yourself. Let me offer you a perspective. If you do not know how to love yourself, how do you expect someone other than yourself to know? If you have not taken the time to learn how to love yourself and enjoy yourself, how do you know when someone's loving you the way you want or need to be loved? We need time in our alone time to repair some things, whether it's that abandonment, whether it's brokenness, whether it's trust issues, whether it's insecurities, whether it's lack of confidence, whatever it is that is subtracting us from our authentic happiness, that's taking away the positivity we feel about life and ourselves. Things that you may see as flaws, areas that hold us in bondage, that restrict us from being vulnerable, from being transparent, from taking chances, from and just living to the best of our ability and our full potential, right? This is the time that we address those things. So, for example, brokenness. You attract what you are and what you know. And I know some of you are going to be like, I didn't attract him in my life acting like that. Ma'am, nothing but love. But yes, you did. And let me tell you, it was a hard pill for me to swallow. When you look at how some people handled you, called themselves loving you, their definition of respect was much different from yours. See, what we have to understand is no one has access unless you grant it. No one has control unless you give it away to them. So at some point, we have to take accountability, even when it doesn't feel well. But that's the first step in cleaning up some of the things we need to clean up, right? Because two people are broken, and that's the core issue, doesn't mean it shows up the same way. Let me give you an example. You have a young lady who grew up. Dad was in and out. Dad said he was coming and she's excited and she's looking out that window, and unfortunately, Dad never called, Dad never showed up. So now she starts her journey into teenagehood, young adulthood. And because of that, the way she was handled by Dad, she started questioning herself about her worth. Why didn't my dad see me as valuable? Why didn't my dad make time? Why wasn't I good enough to love? And these things start being internalized, believed, and now that's how we put ourselves out to the world. So now we find ourselves in relationships that are not for the betterment of us, but we have somebody. Even if I'm not happy, even if I'm not treated with the respect and the love and the desire that I want and deserve, but somebody's there. It may show up as you beginning to settle. Something is better than nothing type of mentality. Brokenness, because you never dealt with what Dad did. You made it personal to you. You internalized it. It pumps in your veins like the blood that runs through your veins. And you go out into the world expecting not to get what you deserve and putting up with whatever is willing to have you. Now you have this other young man over here. He's broken, but his brokenness looks a little different. He grew up in a household where Dad was physically abusive, verbally abusive. He may have witnessed Dad being abusive physically and verbally towards Mom. Dad may have made him feel less than. Dad may have made him feel that he wasn't a man if he cried, if he talked about feelings. And because this young boy wanted nothing but Dad's love and acceptance, started emulating Dad. Because if I could be like him, he'll love me. If I do what Dad says, he'll love me. If I'm strong and controlling, and can't nobody come up against me like Dad, he'll love me. So are you getting my example? So the young lady over here is broken and feeling devalued and nobody loves me and I'm going to put up with what I have. You have the young man over here who was taught and internalized and felt, I have to be strong. I have to be fearless. I have to show that nobody intimidates me. I have to be the man of all men. So now these two meet. What do you think that looks like? She's submissive. She's investing everything she can into this man. He's over here, perhaps putting his hands on her, saying some things that are not complimentary to her, making her feel she has to be submissive. He is the voice of reason and law in their household. Everything he says goes, and don't question him because he's the man. So now you have two broken people looks very different. But when you get down to the get down of why they're like that, it's brokenness. Because things that happened along the way in their childhood showed up in their teenagehood, and everything else that culminated that, cemented itself in the way they viewed themselves and internalized their experiences, are now showing up in relationships. But when you get down to it, both these young people were broken in their own way. But at the end of the day, we're broken, and now they're showing up in adulthood and relationships. And again, I'm just using brokenness as an example, but we're talking trust issues and abandonment issues. And finding out why you keep attracting the same relationship. Might be a different name and a different face, but the experience is the same. So for example, one domestic violent relationship after another. Keep attracting a man who wants to sit on the couch all day, but he's okay with you working 12 and 15 hours a day, but he doesn't contribute. Men, you keep attracting women who are struggling with trust issues, lack of confidence. Although you've done nothing to lose her trust, you're feeling like you're being punished for a crime you haven't committed. And you keep attracting the same experiences and relationships. At some point, you have to say, what is the common denominator? And if you look in the mirror, you have your answer. It's you, right? Let me ask you, would you willingly date someone that you knew was broken or had other attributes about themselves that wouldn't bring positivity into your life, but more than likely would bring drama, tension, maybe even toxicity? Would you willingly say, toxicity, come visit me. Insecurities, come lay with me. Brokenness, let me hold you in my arms. Would you attract that person in your life? Or would you say, as attracted as I am to you, or how sweet I think you might be, you got some things you need to go work on. And perhaps when you figure those things out, come talk to me and we see where life leads us, right? So if you wouldn't willingly have an open door invitation to those attributes and the person who housed those, why would you bring that to somebody else's doorstep? That's a hard question, right? Why would you have the double standard of accept my drama, accept my brokenness, accept my trust issues and insecurities, but I'm not willing to accept yours? See, we can't go through life having expectations of ourselves within different expectations of everyone else. So when we come to relationships, be the best version of yourself. Be as whole as you can. Break free of the bondage of childhood, generational curses that no longer are befitting, no longer are going to set root in you, right? Because you're going to continue to have the same relationships, the same drama, the same negativity and toxicity. You have to start with yourself. Broken cannot attract whole, right? Trust can't go out here and then you wonder why all you're attracting is lack of trust, insecurities, disloyal people. You have to stop and take inventory. If you have work to do, it's all right. The fact that you are able to acknowledge it, let go of the denial that it exists, and now you're willing to do the work, the experiences you will have on the back end will be worth it. From the friendships to the opportunities to the relationships and just the self-love and peace that you will have. will be so worth it. Now, let me leave you with this analogy. Once you've done your work, your brokenness healed, your lack of trust is now trust, your insecurities are now secure, right? You could look in the mirror and love yourself. You could date yourself. You enjoy being alone. You don't run from it. You don't fear it. You don't do everything in the world to avoid it. Once you have handled what you needed to handle, abandonment issues, forgiving mom and dad for not loving you and raising you the way you wanted, when we have let go of all of that and we've done the work and we are whole and we are ready, this is the analogy that I want you to remember. When you go into a restaurant, and I'm not talking about your McDonald's and Burger Kings and things like that. When you go to a sit-down restaurant, got the menu in your hand, what's the first thing that happens? You sit down and your waitress or your waiter says, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. What can I get for you today?" That right there, that's God asking you what you want. That's God asking you the desires of your heart. That's the universe coming to take your order. You picturing it? Are you picturing yourself at the table? Are you picturing the God, the universe, your waiter, your waitress standing there with their pad in their hand and their pen ready to take your order? Can you see it? Then what happens? They go away. They go to the back. They put your order in, right? And in the back is the kitchen. Imagine the kitchen being your experiences gearing up to come and meet you, right? Now your waiter or waitress come back and say, "I've put your order in. Is there anything else I can get you in the meantime?" That's the universe saying, is it any changes to your order you would like? Has the experiences that have come to you since I came to get your original order? Has anything changed your taste buds? I don't know. Maybe you thought you didn't care about having somebody that was family oriented, but that last experience taught you, you know what? I think I really would like somebody that's family oriented. Go back there in the kitchen and change my order. Your waiter and your waitress will go away. They're going to go update your order. And if you had no changes, they're going to go back there and say, "Keep it coming, everything good," right? After so long, what happens? Your order is brought out to you. But what do you do in the meantime while you're waiting on your order? You're sitting there enjoying your company. You're enjoying the atmosphere and the environment. You may even be checking some emails on social media and laughing and entertaining yourself while you're waiting on your order. You didn't hear me say you got up from the table, went into the kitchen, and prepared your own meal. You didn't hear me say that, did you? You came in, you sat down, you placed your order, you patiently waited. That's what a relationship is. You go out and you take inventory of all these experiences. You create your order. You create your order. You don't chase it. You don't chase it. You don't go into the kitchen and cook it yourself when you're at the restaurant. You patiently wait. And then guess what the beautiful thing is? When your order is ready, your waiter and your waitress brings it to you. When your order is ready, God brings it to you. When your order is ready, the universe brings it to you. Right? And then you take a bite. And you say, "Oh, this is good." You put in your order. You patiently waited. You distracted yourself with, and when I say distraction, don't misconstrue that. By distraction, I don't mean you went to get up under somebody else. You enjoy the moments that you have. Family, hanging out, going to school, educating yourself. You're sitting there, you're enjoying social media. You're reconnecting with some people. You're not getting in your own way. You're not rushing the process. You're not settling. You're not saying, "Okay, well, this is taking too long, so let me just go on over here." You don't run to the restaurant next door, grab a burger, and come back and sit and continue to wait for your meal, do you? No. Because if you do that, you're no longer hungry. And if you do that, you don't even care what your first order was anymore. Stop chasing relationships. Because oftentimes, what you catch at the end may not even be what you want. Because you were so busy chasing, you wasn't handling your business. You were so busy chasing, you wasn't taking inventory of yourself. You were so busy chasing, you weren't even taking care of yourself. You were so busy chasing, you wasn't taking observation of the wonderful experiences that were coming to you. You were so busy chasing, you wasn't seeing what God was trying to give you. You were so busy chasing, you were in your own way. You were busy chasing. You missed out on a lot of great stuff. And then you look up after all this marathon running and all of this chasing, and you've wasted time that you can't even get back, and what you ended up catching while you were chasing ain't even what you wanted. And now you want to say, return to sender. But see, the thing is, you could return that one to the sender, because what's going to come behind him or her is going to be the same thing, unless you handled your business, unless you stopped chasing and you took all that focus, all that energy, and you internalized it to yourself. Be the best version of yourself. That does not mean perfection. Be the best version of yourself. That does not equal perfection. It means I took what I had, I took what I learned, and I implemented it to the best of my ability. Nothing more, nothing less. And as experiences continue to come, because as long as you're taking breath in this physical experience, you are going to continue to have physical experiences. Therefore, you are never done learning. You don't have to stop evolving. You are forever going to be growing and changing, because that's what this life is about. And as you know better, you do better, right? My brothers and my sisters, there's no need to chase, because what's for you will find you. What's for you will find you. It will be as easy as a hand to a glove. You won't have to manipulate it. You won't have to alter it in any way. You won't have to sit here and hem and haw. Should I? Is that for me? Maybe I should wait. It won't be like that. There is no need to chase anything in this life. Assert yourself, know what you want, know the desires of your heart, know what it is to love yourself, know yourself. So many of us are out here chasing relationships and we don't even know ourselves. So how do you know what you are chasing? And if what you're chasing is even worth it? Love yourself, date yourself, forgive what you need to forgive. But you cannot expect somebody outside of you to come and love you better than you. You cannot expect somebody to come into your life and make you happy. Happiness is within. A person can add to your happiness. They cannot build it, find it, or maintain it for you. Can't do it. I have nothing but love for you guys. I did not want to make this video too long. I hope you have found some benefit. I hope it has offered you some support. I hope that it has offered you another perspective. If anything else, if nothing else, I hope it has allowed you a moment to take pause and take inventory and accountability for your part in the process. You are willing and able to attract and manifest everything you want in life, from your relationships to your health to your finances. It is all within arm's reach of you. Stop chasing. Get to the restaurant, sit down, place your order, and be patient. Sit down, place your order, be patient. It's as simple as that. Please consider liking, subscribing to Inspirational Nourishment if you found any benefit at all in today's video. If this video can resonate with someone that you know, please feel free to share it. I want this to go as far as it can to whoever it needs to reach. You will find some information down below in the description box, so take a peek in there and see if it's something that you will find beneficial to yourself. And until we meet again, remember, there's no need to chase. Sit down, place your order, and be patient. And enjoy enjoy the experience. Until next time, you all, take care.